Welcome back. I'm glad that you're taking the time to check out these tutorials, and I hope that you're finding them helpful and sharing them with your friends. What we're going to do today is look at how to clip and trim things that we've got in our project. I've had a lot of you asking me about that, so I figured I'd just whip up a little tutorial for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take two clips that were shot separately, and I'm going to put them together so that it looks like a multicam, one of those fancy things where it's shot with a couple of different people with different cameras. But really, it's just me at the skate park by myself. I'm hitting this one rail, and I've got myself hitting it from the front, and then I've got myself hitting it again from the back, so I just moved the position of the camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the media from our library, and I'm going to drag that into the timeline. So this is the first piece that I want. Once I've got it selected here, I'm going to click the plus. That'll put it into the timeline. And then I've got one more piece that is from the other side. Let me just scroll over here, see what part I want. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, click and drag over the area that I want. And this time, instead of hitting the plus, I'm just going to click and drag it on into my timeline. Now I've got the two pieces there. It's longer than what I need. I don't need all of this approach here. Let me show you a couple different ways that we can get rid of that. The first way, that's the easiest, is if you just hover with your cursor over the edge of each clip, you'll see that it brings up this callout window. It says trim or extend the clip. All you have to do is click, and then you can pull that. I'm pulling to the right now, and that's shortening my clip. And I really like that iMovie does this non-destructively, so if I want to go back the other way, I can easily do that. In fact, I can go back further than what I initially selected. So it really makes editing pretty easy. So let's see what we've got there. Nice approach. It's a little bit too long, so I'm going to pull in the other end here. Okay, now on this side, I don't want to transition from my tire going off here to dead space, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull that over to about like that. That's a little too brutal. I don't like it. Shorten that up just a little bit. Okay, that's good. On the end part, let me show you how to trim. So instead of just pulling, there's another way to do this. I can put my playhead wherever I want it, and then I can just hit Command B, and you can see that split this into two different clips. The other way, I'm just hitting Command Z to undo. The other way to do that is to put your playhead where you want it, and right-click, and then split the clip. Same thing, Command B. Okay, and then just select the portion that you don't need and hit delete, and it goes away. Okay, let's look at this part right here where I lined them up. If they don't line up perfectly, that's okay. If you double-click in between, it's going to bring up the precision editor, which is a really slick way of looking at essentially two video tracks at the same time. So this top track, the part that is active up here, is what you see. This part that's gray over here you don't see. It's essentially behind this track, which is what you do see. So we can pull these around, make sure that everything lines up exactly where we want it. The reason that you might want to do this is if you've got some audio that has to match up perfectly, especially if you're doing a multicam thing, or if you're editing out, if you're editing out some old footage and you talk in the middle of it and have to re-record something, it's just a lot easier to split the two clips and attach them back together this way. So once you're done with that and you've got things where you want it, just close it and it saves everything automatically for you. Okay, let's look at what we've got. Looks good. I want to slow this down now, and this is one of the places where actually splitting the clip is more effective than simply dragging the end. So I'm going to split it right here at the beginning of the action, so Command B, and then I'm going to split this one. Same thing, Command B. So now I've got these two clips, and I want to adjust the speed on them, and I can't because it's grayed out. And before you get all mad at iMovie, let's just go ahead and make one quick adjustment. We're going to go up into View, and we're going to deselect the wrapping timeline. I like to work with the wrapping timeline. I think it makes it a lot easier to see what I've got going on, but for speed editing, it doesn't work. So let's deselect that. Now, with both of those selected, now I can show the speed editors. Okay, and that's this little slider with the handle right here. If I pull it to the left and shorten it, you'll see the little rabbit come up. And if you pull it to the right, you'll see the turtle come up. What the rabbit indicates is that it's playing at a faster speed than what it was originally recorded at. The turtle indicates that it's playing at a slower speed. Now, I don't want them to be at different speeds. I want them to both be at the same speed. Instead of messing around with the slider and winging it, I'm going to modify and slow motion, and then I'm just going to do them at 50%. And you'll see that that slows things down, and it does it a little bit more precisely than what I would do if I were just pushing the buttons myself. So let's see what it looks like now. Okay, I'm still not happy with that transition between the two, so I'm going to pull that over with my precision editor. I'm going to pull this over. I'm going to use my the audio, because even though you can see the action, the audio isn't lining up right in my head, and I want things to be seamless. Okay, there you go, guys. What we've learned today is to clip and to trim. There's two different ways to do that. We can grab the ends of your clips and pull them in or out. You can also put your playhead where you want it split, and you can simply hit Command B. We've also talked about adjusting the speed and how the wrapping timeline will affect that. I hope that you all have learned something useful today, and I look forward to seeing your movies. Have a good one.